think about you. You think about you.
I don't mind if you think about you.
Think about you. And I'ma think.
I don't mind if you think about you.
I'm real about you. Real about you now.
I don't mind if you think about you.
I'ma fill upon you. Fill up on you now.
I don't mind if you think about you.
Good morning. This is Jacqueline Richardson, Miss JJ Diamond, Jackie Deja, whatever y'all call me. Let's check out the weather today. Nope. First, I want to thank God for being alive another day. Yeah, got to do that every single day. Now we'll check the weather. Alexa, what's the weather today?
Right now in Charlotte, it's 49 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly sunny skies. Today's forecast has partly sunny weather with a high of 73 degrees and a low of 49 degrees.
We pretty warm today. I messed up yesterday, y'all. I went all day without drinking any water. I had a little bit when I took my allergy medicine, but it just wasn't enough. And that's just not me, So I got to make sure I fix that today. I got to put me some electrolytes in, drink me plenty of water. I just was running around with no water. You got to be kidding me. That's not me. So this is what doing business does to you, And that's something I want to talk about today. I want to talk about that today. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I see with the government and what they are doing to the people, and action causes reaction, domino effects, we're going to talk about that as well. So I just wanted to let y'all know before I start the podcast, pretty much like a part 2 from yesterday. But first I want to talk about, I just read the story about Jeff Bezos. Shout out to him. He made the world's richest man, $200 billion. Y'all know who Jeff Bezos is. That's Amazon. He has been investing in businesses. And now he's very, very rich. But he sacrificed something. And, it's sad, when a person loves their family so much and they don't want to fail, and just shout out to Jeff Bezos and his family. They still your family, even though you're not with them. He pretty much had to hire someone to be a dad to his kids, and he had to sacrifice that because he's a businessman, And a lot of people do that in order to be the savior for their family, And it's sad what, people of his status and people that's out here that don't have, you say to them, well, you rich and you don't have any kids, you don't have a husband, why? And we know why, and for those that don't know why, I'm going to tell you why today. I've been studying this thing, and I thank God for the people that's been in my life, and I've seen the things that they've done, and things that I've been through as well, has proven that you just can't have both. You have to choose, and me being a mother, it's like really difficult, shout out to people like Rihanna and Nicki Minaj. Like Nicki Minaj, she waited, she waited to have children. We knew that she was going to be a mother one day because she has that mother mentality, that nurturing mentality, so we knew she was going to become a mother one day. And Rihanna, she's just falling back and building her businesses, to help her country, and help her family, so this is one of the things. You can't have kids and husbands and wives and all this stuff, when you are at that level of life. It's really hard. It can wear you down mentally, physically, You know, everything is business, 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 business. You know, and I had a little taste of that when I was working for Frito. You know, I had a little taste of that. You know, I was always on the go, guys. Always, 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 always on the go. 7 days a week, you know, because if I'm going to say this, I may not know what it means, but for those that do, I had a merchandiser. And if my merchandiser didn't show up, I still had to go out there and make sure that my product got sold, because if my product didn't get sold, I don't get a paycheck. Okay? I'll get a paycheck, don't get me wrong, but my paycheck won't be as big as it could have been, depending on someone else. So if that person didn't show up, I would be out there, you know, or if they didn't have anybody to do it. I did that for a whole year. I worked 7 days a week for a whole year straight until my boss came to me and said, Jackie, why are you so irritable? This is not you. I said, well, I'm tired, you know. Shout out to Kenny. I said, Kenny, I'm tired. I've been working 7 days for the last year. And he's like, what? I said, yeah. He said, you know you're not supposed to. They big. That's the thing about Frito-Lay. They're big on you taking your days off. Very big on that. Because they don't want you to get burnt out, you know. And I used to work 7 days. And when I worked these 7 days, my kids were being neglected. You know, my family was being neglected. My man was being neglected. Everybody was being neglected because I was getting that money. But I'll come home with all this money and like, come on, y'all, let's go shopping. Come on, y'all, let's do this. Come on, y'all, we going over here. And then they only get to spend a little bit of time with me, and then I'm gone again. Where you going? Work? Bye. Love y'all. I'm gone. You know, and that's how it was. And I didn't realize that I was neglecting these kids until my son came to me. I know he hates when I bring him up in my podcast. Shout out to Nate Heights. I love you, son. He was so angry with me one day. So I said, now what you gonna take up in college? You know, because I got to get prepared for these payments. You know, I'm gonna be making. You know, what you gonna do? You know. And he looked at me and he said, I don't want to go to college. I want to be a rapper. What? Are you kidding me? Boy, I don't work this damn, excuse my language, I don't want to curse. I don't work this hard for you to tell me you want to be a rapper. So I just looked at him, right? So I said, I failed my child. Damn. You know, not saying there's anything wrong with being a rapper, because I'm a rapper, okay? However, it just hurt my heart because I worked so hard, y'all. I worked 70 hours a week, you know, and for my kid to come tell me this. And then he said to me, well, Mommy, you don't even know me. And I'm like, what do you mean? You're my son. I know you. And he's like, no, you don't. You're never home. And when he said that to me, it was like, damn, you know, I'm sorry, you know, but I'm trying to make a way for you people, for all of y'all, you know, taking care of my whole family, you know. And I sacrificed myself to take care of my whole family, you know, including my mom, you know. And I had to sit back and I had to think about this. I had to say, you know, what are you doing? What are you doing to yourself? You know, your family loves you. You know, it'd be different if they didn't love me. If they said, oh, we hate you, so go. You know what I mean? My people love me. And the reason why I was doing it is because they love me. I knew they loved me, and that's why I was making a way for them. I didn't want them to suffer. Okay? And, you know, I shout out to my father-in-law. He was one of those. He was the same. You know, he actually taught me what to do. You know, me watching him and learning from him and learning why, you know. Why do we sacrifice for our families? And we lose everything. You know. And at this point, all you can do is just keep yourself happy. You know. And you tell the people, you know, move on. Because I have something I'm trying to do to make sure that y'all good. You know. But it just hurt me to my heart when my son told me this. But I said to myself, Jackie, you gotta slow down. You gotta slow down. But then when I slowed down, it hurt the family too. So I'm like, okay, well, how do I do this? And God keep giving me these rememberings, reminding me of all of these things every single day, especially with me starting this new brand. People was asking me, why do you want to sell? Why sell? Why sell? Because I still love my family. I don't want to sacrifice myself anymore because they need me. This is why I want to sell. Even though I know that I can have great things and I can have lots of money in the end. But sometimes the love of your family is more important, And I'm not that deep in yet. I'm not that deep in. Now we're going to look at a person like Jeff-Bezos. He's way deep in, and he didn't realize what was going on until he was deep in, Shout out to him for allowing his wife, to move on with another mate, and put them together as a family, because they was missing that. While he was out there investing and building these businesses, his family was missing him, and it's different, like, and this is why I could appreciate Beyonce and Jay-Z, and I'm going to tell you why. Because he does a lot with her, when it comes to the music, I noticed they did an album together. That was a love album, because he was out there doing all this business, probably was never home, and he came home and he said, now this is your time. I'm going to do this album with you, and we're going to get out there and we're going to be together. Okay, this is our time. He shut that down. He was man enough to say, forget these businesses right now. We're going to do this love album. This is us. So shout out to Jay-Z for that, for making those decisions, to hold his family, to hold his family in that realm, However, my family, they're not like how Beyonce is. Beyonce, she was, she sat back and she was willing to accept what came with it. And then when he was ready, they came together and did things, did whatever they needed to do, take trips or, like do the album, do a tour together, My family, I only have really two that wants to be a part of the music industry where we can all come together, later on, So I'm gonna still be missing a part of my family, So it kind of hurts, when you think about these things and you going forward with your businesses and you trying your best to keep your family a part of these things, It's really hard. And then I look at guys like, Jay-Z. I look at guys like Jeff Bezos. I look at Rihanna. I look at Nicki Minaj. I look at these big hitters that have been successful and watch the patterns of life, And then this is the other thing. When you are going through these, building these businesses, and you going in for a long time, your body mentally and physically start going through emotions, and you get tired of business. You get tired of hearing about business, I'm going to tell you this story. I used to go to sleep, and this is no lie, guys. This is no lie what I'm telling y'all. And in my sleep, I was able to see chips. Chips. Everything was chips. I open my eyes, they chips. I go to sleep, it's chips. Chips. All kind of chips. Sun chips. Frito-Lay chips. Doritos. Cheetos. Fritos, peanuts. That's what I saw. With my eyes open and my eyes closed. It was all about chips. And I was deep in where my mind just couldn't let it go because of the money that I was making. And I had never made that much money before, legally, I never made that much money before. And I was looking at my paychecks and, they used to always use me as an example, at work. They would say, Jackie always cuts her paychecks. And I kept telling them to stop because it was giving me too many haters. You know what I mean? But they used to say that. It was a saying that they had, Miss Hollywood. They used to call me Miss Hollywood, because I put my shades on and my lip gloss and I'm coming down the dock because I had a productive day and I'm feeling like I'm walking down the red carpet for real, okay? And they would look and they would say, they go, Miss Hollywood, and I would smile, and then that's when they would come and say, she cuts her own checks. She makes sure she goes out there and whatever she needs, she gets it, because I was deep in, and the thing about when you work for Frito-Lay, when you step through the door and they tell you, what you're doing for them, is one thing that my boss had said to me. Eric Lackey, I'll never forget it. He said, this is your own business. He said, we're just covering the back end costs. So you look at this as being your own business. And when you go out there, you present yourself like it's your own business. And I said, okay. And I did that. I did what he said, And I was successful at it, But it comes a time where, God has to step in and say, you need to end this and be with your family, because they do need you. And my family needed me. Yes, they did. They still need me. Let me tell you, y'all wouldn't even know. Even though most of my kids is grown, I still have one at home. But even though they're grown, it doesn't stop. It don't stop. And I think about that. So that when people keep saying, like I said, when people say to me, why you want to sell, it's because I love my family. I see what people like Jeff is going through, But he had no other choice but to sacrifice. Because he wanted to see his family set for generations upon generations. Okay? Yeah. He wanted that name to be there generations upon generations. So I get it. I get it. A lot of other people may not get it, but I get it. Same with Dr. Dre. You didn't know that the end results of your marriage will be sacrificed because of your business. Or you knew you was rich and you did what you needed to do for your family, but you didn't know that the end sacrifice was that. Because you're looking at so much business that you can't focus on your family and the love of your family. And that's the thing, Women, especially housewives, they need love. Okay? Because they're stuck in this box every day, all day. Okay? They're cleaning, they're cooking. I was trained to be a housewife, My aunt trained me how to be a housewife. My grandma, she trained me how to be a housewife. And I actually went the opposite way. I was the street runner, My grandma used to always say, I'm going to pray for you. And I was thank God that she prayed for me. You know what I mean? I'm thankful that she prayed for me every single day because I needed it. But they taught me how to be a housewife. I was supposed to be the one at home, pretty much with the heartbreak and because my husband is always running, but they taught me how to be a tough cookie and deal with it, but I was on the other side, and I don't know how that happened, how God switched it like that. Things can happen, when your family set out for you to be one thing and then something else happens. My mother couldn't understand it either. She was like, how in the, you always running. I used to talk to my mom every day, every single day. I miss that as well. I know my mom has been dead 9 years now. My aunt has been dead 20-something years. And they the ones who taught me, this stuff. Shout out to her. Matter of fact, she died March 7th, right before Biggie died. Yeah, it's been a lot of years, y'all. Anyway, if I'm not mistaken, 23 years? It was 23 years? Something like that. Because my son is 24, and I had just had him right before she passed away. He was a few months old, so. But anyway, these people taught me how to be, pretty much how to go get that money, So I had one side of the family teaching me how to go get the money, and then the other side of the family teaching me how to be strong. The military men in the family, they taught me how to be strong. I was the baby. That's what they called me, the baby. I was the baby. Little Jackie. They used to call me fire engine because when I cry, I turn beet red. And they had to teach the baby, and they taught the baby, okay? They taught the baby. But the baby had to learn some other stuff, I had to learn some other stuff, out here in the real world, how it really goes down, and I've been learning that. I didn't know that they was going to take this tough housewife and turn her into what I'm building myself to be today, and I still think about my family. What's going to happen to them when I'm out there making deals and, they need me. They need me. And I sit back and I look at that, how I'm going to be neglecting them, It really, and God shows us. He has his ways of showing us. He really does. I neglected my mate. I had to go to therapy, guys. I had to go to therapy. My mate, I went to therapy. I'll never forget it. I went to therapy, and I talked to my mate. I talked to the therapist, and I was telling her about my life or whatever, and she just looked at me and she said, well, I'm proud of you, And I looked at her like, what you mean, And she was like, you're doing well for yourself to be a, young black woman. You're doing very well, but you have to give your family love. You have to find that time. So I need you to take a vacation, and I need you to take you and your mate, and y'all go somewhere, and y'all have a good time. She was trying to lead me on the right path, but then I get all caught up again. This is how it go, y'all. I get all caught up, And here I go running again. I can't stop. Because it's just not enough. I gotta figure out another way to invest. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I gotta go over here and do that. I gotta, and that's how it be, And then just think about a person like Jeff Bezos. He's probably on a flight or a private jet. He's probably on a private jet at least 5 times a week, or I would say maybe 3 times a day. Sometimes. He going over here. He got a meeting over here. Then he got a meeting over here. Sure, I'm setting up meetings locally right now. Well, what's going to happen when I got to go to different states? I just thought about that. You know what I mean? I'll probably be visiting 3 or 4 states in a day. Okay? In a 12-hour period, long term. So I think about all these things, And I just wanted to take the easy road out, and then I'm going to be honest with you, the government was the easy way out for me, For me to become, governor assistant, mayor, something It's an easy way out because I can still be with my family. They only work a half of a year, pretty much. The president is the only one that works all year long unless there's major things going on. But the rest of them pretty much work only a half a year. The governor, he works all year as well. If there's major stuff going on, and it's not, he's sitting down, doing his thing, getting his paycheck. That was the easy way out. But they want me to take the hard road. But my family's going to suffer, and I think about that, So, and there's a lot of people that want me to be a part of the politicians. That's what my family was about. They was into politics heavy, and voicing the people, Like, people feel like, like I should be scared to talk about the government. Why? Why should I be scared to talk about the government? This is what they want. They want to know what's going on. Okay? They want you to voice their opinion, your opinion, so they know how to fix stuff. You know what I mean? Never should I be scared to talk about the government. Like I said, my people was in this for a very long time. They know the name, okay? I'm not starting something on my own, okay? My people, my grandmother was, my great-grandmother, Armatine. She started all of this, okay, into the black movement and the politicians, and she started all that, so I'm not doing nothing other than what she had already done, and she's lived a long life. Only thing that she didn't do was run for office, okay? But she followed it. She kept us updated on it. She kept my mother updated on it, and my mother kept me updated on it, and this is where we are today, and they're all gone now. Okay, so this is why I said, this is the route that I'm going to go, because they're gonna be proud of me, but I'm still being forced. My hands are being forced by other people that don't know my history and don't know my family. And they're intervening, not understanding what our name stands for and what we were sitting here to do. Okay? And that's what kills me. Even though I have the skills to do other things, sometimes we have to sit back and be disciplined and stand still, because we need to know the reality of what we are doing, because my name stands on this. Okay? And you got some people that's here to do whatever. I don't want to even go there, because what I was going to say is, you have some families that they shoot for, say, business, okay? So they have this generation business or whatever the case may be. Well, my family had already created that. It just wasn't a financial thing, but they've created the generation, the for our name to keep going on. They created that already, okay? The name is known. I just have to keep it going. And that's what I've been doing. I'm doing my part of what my family wanted me to do. But then you have these other people that come in and intervene and say, okay, well, she wants to do this and she wants to do that. I try to tell people every day, if you don't know my life and you don't know my history, all you're going to do is make problems for me. Okay? Anyway, getting back to, I want to talk about a little bit more about the rebellion of our country. Now, yesterday I left off where, our people, they went all crazy because they can't eat, the bills ain't being paid, they're bugging out, there's like no break. We can't go this way because of this. We stopped. You got to go over here and do this. And we get it. You got to have law and order in everything that you do. However, there should be a better solution. You find out what the problem is. Now, I'm going to use this for instance. Back a long time ago, the government didn't give expedited food stamps. Okay. Now they're starting to, well, they've been started giving expedited food stamps, okay, to help the people meanwhile, because they realize that these people are hungry. Okay, so they was able to fix that. They found a solution for that. Okay. However, I couldn't understand why here in Charlotte, after they done fixed that years ago, they didn't find a solution for that because my kids were hungry while I was waiting for the caseworker to work on my papers. Okay, and that's what bothered me. Okay, now they're starting to do the expedited food stamp thing. But when I got here in Charlotte 5 years ago, I did not get expedited food stamps. We had to wait. And I didn't understand why, because I wasn't on food stamps in no other state. So I guess it was something that they just started. Or I was their example. I don't know. But stuff like that can cause people to literally go mad. Because you trying to figure out how is it I'm going to take care of my children. You know, and here I am with no job. You know, I was getting a little bit of income, but it just wasn't enough to be, you know, buying food, trying to help pay bills and keep things afloat. It just wasn't enough. So I had to go out there and hustle and do little things to maintain. Okay. Now, how if it would have got to the point where I needed to commit crime? Who fault would that have been? Because my kids needed to eat. Because I can't allow my kids to go hungry because I love my kids. Let me tell y'all something. I was out when I lost my house and back in 2013. You know, I had a garage sale trying to get up the money so I wouldn't lose my house. I was asking people. I went to a church, okay, and I told them I had this amount of money and I needed help. I didn't want to lose my house. And they said to me, let me tell you what they said to me. Well, you get up 3/4 of the money and then we'll give you the rest. And I tried my hardest, y'all. I tried my hardest to get up 3/4 of the money. Okay. And I needed $3,000. Okay. And I just couldn't get that $3,000 up. I had yard sales. I did whatever I could possibly do to get that money up. People was giving me donations, and I just couldn't get that $3,000 up in enough time. I didn't have enough time. I was running out of time. There was no way possible for me to do it without crime. Okay? I would have had to bust somebody upside the head, sell drugs, do something. Because I had no other ways to get this money up. Okay? Now, wait. Let me tell you about this. My business had failed, so I let it go. So that's already a mess. Okay? That was one issue. Didn't have no money to get to save my house. But I had a job on the shelf that I was waiting on. Guess who slowed that down? Y'all would never guess. The government. The people, being that I had owned a business and I was going back into the working world, they needed to verify that my business was legit. They didn't want to take the paperwork. Okay. You know, because they want to know, a lot of these jobs and companies today, they want to know. They look at your credit report. They look at the way you pretty much spend money to see if you're right for their company. And I get it, you know. And they said, okay, well, how was you making money for the last 2 years? I said, well, I had a business. Okay, well, bring us the paperwork and we're gonna contact the government, make sure that this business was legit and blah, 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 blah. I said, my business was legit. I could bring you all the paperwork from the government. I could bring you all my bank statements. I could bring everything. They was like, no, we'll contact the government. Oh, they were so slow. I'll call up the job. Did they get back in contact with y'all? No, not yet, Miss Richardson, but we're still waiting. Well, after I lost my house, I think I was on the street for about a month. And they called and said, Ms. Richardson, the paperwork came back and you're good. We got the proof that you did have a business or whatever the case may be. And when are you ready to start? And I said, ma'am, I had to laugh. I said, ma'am, waiting on you and the government, I've lost my home. So I don't even live there no more. I don't live in that area no more. So I would have to travel a lot of ways to get to you. So I'm going to try to see if I can find a way, find somewhere to stay or whatever the case may be, so I can take the job, because I've been waiting on this job for 3 months. Don't you know I didn't have nobody in my life that was able to help me so I can get that job? Nobody. Okay. Something like that will mentally mess you up. Okay. But now at this point, I am just trying to save money so I can put my kids back into a better space. I waited 3 months on this job and couldn't even take it. I didn't have no babysitter. My kids was separated all over the place. And all I needed was a job so I can get some money up to get another place. So you see how the things that go on can drive you mentally ill? For those with the kids, the reason why I'm saying this is because sometimes kids are born with disabilities. But majority of the people out here with mental disabilities is created. They create it. So now, being a mother, I have to sacrifice. So I wouldn't eat. I wouldn't drink. I'm trying to save every dime to make sure that my kids ate. When I talk about this, y'all, it hurts. It hurts. Because I didn't love myself enough to know that if something happened to me, where would my kids be? And that was the lesson that God needed to teach me. Okay? That I still needed to take care of me so I could take care of them. Okay? So y'all see where I felt like I didn't have nobody, the government, nothing. I was out here alone. And I had money in my bank account, but I just knew I couldn't spend. So I sacrificed myself, not eating, working out, not drinking, not realizing that if you don't put fluid in your body, you're going to make yourself sick. Forget about the food. You need to put fluid in your body. And I got sick. I fell out in the street. And when I got to the hospital, I told the doctor, I said, I haven't eaten in days. And he's like, you haven't eaten in days? Oh, Lord. He was just looking at me like, okay, we have, this is what we have, And they gave me, IV to hydrate me and stuff. And they fed me and my kids, And of course they called social services, And social services came to me and said, well, you haven't eaten in days and you fell out and we're worried about you and the kids, And I said, they said, well, where are you going? And I said, well, I'm going to take my kids. We're going to go to a hotel. And I got to get myself together. I got to get my mind right, because I got to realize I have to eat. So now I got to sit down and work my numbers, because all I know is numbers, y'all. I calculate. I'm always calculating something. And I sat down and I said, okay, if I eat this amount, I'll be okay. We can still save money, So the lady said, well, how you want to go to a hotel? aren't you homeless? And I said, yeah. She said, well, you have money? I said, yeah. And she just looked at me, right? I said, you don't believe me? I said, well, I'm going to go over here to the ATM. I'm going to show you. So I went over to the ATM, and I think I got $200 out. And I showed her, and she just looked at me, and she stared at me. And she was like, you're the first homeless person I know that got a bank account and got money in it. I said, well, ma'am, she didn't know my lifestyle and where I was coming from. You know what I mean? I said, well, ma'am, I'm trying to save my money so I can get another place for me and my kids. That's why I didn't eat, because I was trying to save my money. But y'all have taught me that I needed to eat so I could stay strong for the kids, So you see how what was going on in my life had put a bad mental space in my head. Okay? Because I had nobody to depend on. Nobody. I had just lost my mother. My kids were young. They couldn't help me. None of my so-called friends helped me. And the ones that did, I had to deal with chaos and drama. It's always the ones that help you is the ones that's unstable. It's crazy how that work out. But the ones that's unstable, those are the ones that help you. Because they want something. Okay? They want something that you have. So that's why they'll help you, But this is what I went through. I went from having a career to living in my car, not eating, not drinking, not taking care of myself. The same thing I did when I was working, So God had to teach me, And, I was so upset when I got here to Charlotte. I had got a job and then I got laid off, and I thought it was just me. I said, they just laying me off. And I went from state to state asking these employees, are y'all being laid off? And they was like, yeah, we being laid off too, unfortunately. But, the company had shut down a certain part of they had shut down certain positions, and they didn't have room to move all the people. Some people that was there for 16, 20 years had to go and find other jobs because they was going to direct sale, where we was bringing our products in through the back door, So, but I was feeling like, everything was still crashing down on me. I was just having such a hard time and bad luck, but God needed me to sit it down. He put me in the right place at the right time for me to sit it down and get my mind right, because I needed to get my mind right from all of that trauma that I went through. I went through so much trauma. And it was all conflicted because of me waiting on the government and their slow process. Because I could have saved my house if I would have had a job, which I had already set myself out to do. But because of this company and their rules, I was stuck out there homeless until they decided they wanted to hire me because they got the paperwork back from the government. And by that point, I couldn't even take the job because I was already homeless and didn't have nobody to help me. So do you see, where the domino effect comes in? Okay. Luckily, I was humble and I was disciplined because I was taught discipline. But what about the people that wasn't taught discipline? Now they go out and commit crimes. And then the government looks at the police officers and say, well, that's y'all job. We hired y'all to fix that. Now the police officers are putting their selves on the line because of something that was created by the government. Because, let me tell y'all, I'll never forget this day. I worked at Family Dollar here in Charlotte. And I'm at work. And it was me and two other assistants. I was an assistant manager, and there was another assistant manager there with me. And she said, "Did you just see that?" I said, "Yeah, but it was like a dream, just real quick, you know." The guy walked in the store and got him a gallon of milk and walked straight out. And walked straight out. And I said, wow. Got in his car and drove off. Okay. Either he wanted some cereal, he had cereal but no milk, or his baby needed some milk. Okay. And all we can do is just stand there and look. Like, we didn't even stop him. We didn't even stop him. The reason why we didn't stop him, we hesitated, and I'm going to tell you why. Because to be that bold, okay, because most people, when they go in to steal, what they do, they're creeping around. They're looking around. They got their little bag so they can stuff their stuff. This dude said, I'm going to the store and I'm going to get my child some milk. Or whoever he had to get some milk. And he walked in, took the milk, and walked out the door. And we hesitated. Normally, if people stealing, we'll stop them and call the police. And, you know, this is what we're supposed to do. This is our job description. Not that we want to tell on the people, but, you know, it's our job description. That's why I had to get the hell out of there. It was just too much going on for me. I said, that's not my place. I'm not in that. Because I ain't into telling on people. You know, because I know what they're going through. Because I've been through it. I just didn't have the oomph. Because my family never taught me to steal. You know, I've never had that oomph to go in the store and steal some food because me and my kids are hungry. You know. So I kind of recognized where he was going. You know, but he was so direct with it to where you couldn't say nothing to him. You didn't want to say nothing to him because you didn't know what was going to come behind that. He might have pulled out a gun and shot us both because he needed that milk. He didn't take nothing else but a gallon of milk. And you know, when you work at Family Dollar, you notice people, when you walk in there, say, "Welcome to Family Dollar." And that's what we were saying so when he walked in. "Welcome to Family Dollar." He ain't even look at us. He walked straight to the refrigerator, got the milk. We thought he was gonna walk to the cashier, and he walked straight out the door. What do you say to a person like that? When they're possibly just trying to feed their child. What do you say? This is why we have created the Pay It Forward, you know, helping people as much as we possibly can, you know. So they won't do crimes and put themselves in harm's way. Because from that gallon of milk, that could have turned real ugly. It could have turned real ugly. And that's when I knew that job wasn't for me. I knew it wasn't for me. Because I'm not going to fight the battles of what is a domino effect. I'm not going to fight those battles. I choose not to. But the battle that I would fight is allowing the government to understand why these people go through what they go through and why they do the things that they do. Because you get tired. You get tired. And now you're feeling like an animal. Now you're feeling like, and granted, you do have some mentally ill people out here that just commit crimes just to commit crimes. But majority of the people that's in jail committed a crime because their back was against the wall. It's not that they wanted to do it. Believe what I'm telling you. And this is why, one of the reasons why I started my nonprofit, to help the people in need. Who wants to hear a crying baby at night? They're not crying because they want to. Like, I'm talking about my little man, Junior, my grandson. Somebody walk out the door, he throw himself to the floor, he crying. We just stare at him. We look at him like, what is wrong with you? She's coming back. Oh, he's coming back. The dog is coming back. Yeah, the girls will bring their dog over here, and he loves the dog. And the dog left. He threw himself to the floor. He's having a tantrum. You know. And sometimes you can appreciate a child's, their love, and that's all that was about. He just didn't understand. I love this thing. Why y'all taking it from me? But when you hear a child cry because they're hungry, because they have hunger pains, and they don't understand why, when all you've been doing is feeding me since I came into this world. Why? I went down to the welfare office when my grandbabies was here. I took my grandson's baby mother down there, and I said, one time we didn't have food, and they was working on my case, and they gave me some food from in a room over there, so maybe they'll have some baby milk over there. Let's ask them. So they said, no, you want baby milk, you're going to have to go over to this office. So we go over to this office over here. Brings tears to my eyes, y'all, because this is what I had to go through during the COVID, okay? Right before the COVID started, before they closed the country in January, to be exact. January to February. Well, you're going to have to set a WIC appointment, okay? I got to set a WIC appointment. That's 2 weeks from now. They set the appointment. Oh, jeez. Okay, because we can only do it on Mondays, or this days is walk-ins, or whatever the case may be. Go over here to this place. Go over to that place. Wait, hold on. If I had gas money to go all over the place, I could just buy the milk. Isn't that common sense? A can of Parents' Choice baby milk. Shout out to Walmart. Love you guys. Baby milk is only $13. If I had gas money to run around to all these places that y'all sending me to try, not to get, but to try and get baby milk, I would have just bought it. Isn't that common sense? But somebody's lacking that in between when they're making these rules. Okay? So now, I got no money, no family, no nothing. Shout out to Instacart. Love you guys. I'm glad that they made a business like that. If you got a car, you can go out and get you some monies. Because the kids are starved. So I had a little bit of gas, y'all. I said, I'm going to take y'all home. And I'm going to go out here and I'm going to get some money, get some baby milk. Y'all don't worry, I'll be back. Because my grandchild is not going to starve. Not under my watch. If I didn't have Instacart, somebody would have had to sacrifice and maybe even go to jail that day because my baby didn't have any milk. Then this happened again. If I had to take it back to the old days, I had to think, I said, Grandma, I need you. I need you, Grandma. You know, help me think. So this is when we was waiting the day before the WIC appointment. I'll never forget it. And I said, carnation milk. She could drink carnation milk. It's not as hard, the fat-free. She'll be okay. I had $1 and I went to the store and I got my little baby some carnation milk. Okay? Until we was able to go to her WIC appointment the next day. Now, I'm trying to remember when I had my daughter, I was working, and I was on disability from my job, but the WIC in Maryland made sure I left with checks. I made sure of it. That could be one of the reasons why I caught pneumonia, because it was raining. Just had a baby and I had to go to the store in the rain to get the baby some milk. Excuse me, y'all. So do y'all see where I'm going with this? So I was kind of confused, okay? So I know what these people go through. You know. But what help is it going to be just talking about it? It has to change. The way things are has to change. Because a man shouldn't have to sacrifice his freedom or his life walking in his... Because how about if a cop was out there? Because the cops is always sitting in the parking lot. How about if the cops was out there? That would have been a bad day. It would have been a real bad day. If the cop would have seen him do that. Or if we would have said something to him and the cop would have pulled up. It could have been a real bad day. It would have been a bad day for us. It would have been a bad day for him. And it would have been a bad day for the police officers. Or because he didn't have a way to get milk. So do y'all hear what I'm saying to y'all? You know, how this domino effect can affect everybody because of the way and how slow the government is with certain things. Because people don't want to do their jobs. You know, and that's what it all boils down to. You know, they feel because you're in need, you have to cater to them. You know. You have to do whatever I say because I have the right to feed you. But then all you're doing is creating criminals. Somebody that can snatch you up and take everything that you have. Somebody that can kick in your door while you're sleeping and take everything that you have. Okay? Somebody that can hem you up getting in your car after work. So you got to look at the reality of this. And you know, majority of America has military veterans in their homes. So you know that they were trained to kill. They were trained to survive. So why would you put yourself in harm's way like that? It's got to be a better way. It's got to be a better way. These people don't commit crimes because they want to. You have us believing that buying the finest shoes and the finest clothes because you got to look presentable. People are going to respect you. This is how they train the kids. They've trained the kids to do this, you know. You know, this, I'm going to use myself for instance. You know, they say, Money attracts money. You know, the world has changed now, though, a lot. Where they respect more of the new than the old. Oh, that's old money. This is new money. That's why I still get respect, because I got some new money. When you have new money, they respect you a little bit different versus having old money. Because old money doesn't exist. It's old. It's not worth anything because it's old. But when they see new money, they say, okay, that's new money. That's pretty new. A year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, that's pretty new. Well, guess what? The kids look at it the same way because that's the way they were trained. Okay? You have to be updated. You have to have this. So the parents try to do these things for these kids because this is the way y'all designed it. Shop. This is what us Americans do. We shop. We angry. We shop. We happy. We shop. Until we can't shop no more. It's the American way. But then, after we finish shopping, we can't eat. We can't pay our bills. I've learned to stop shopping a long time ago. I learned. If you ain't got it, you don't spend it. Because you never know what's going to happen. Always got to keep me a couple of dollars in my pocket, y'all. Always. Got to have something. Because you never know when you're going to be at that point and you waiting on something. And because of the slow process of the government, we messed up. We don't have nothing. So, I'm asking the Senate, y'all got one more signature y'all waiting on. Give it to Biden. Because this is what y'all have created. Y'all creating chaos. And it's about to get started all over again. Y'all claim y'all want to get the crimes down. Y'all want to, after y'all created all these mentally ill people, and y'all want to, y'all claim y'all want to help the people, but then y'all really don't, because there's people out here that's really getting a lot of money and they want help. Yeah, they want help too, and I'm going to tell you why. Because they own these big, beautiful homes. They lost their jobs or got to work from home, so they're not making as much as they used to, because now people don't have no money to even put into these businesses. So the businesses are losing as well. Okay? You're not paying attention to that. My Geico representative said to me, shout out to Geico. Well, I'm at home, so this is where we're working. We're working remotely now. People can't afford to pay their car notes, so their cars are getting taken away, so why do they need Geico? So that takes money away from them. So now they're working at home. The companies have to cut. They can't cut their pay. So they cut something else, the hours or whatever the case may be. I had a girl run up on me the other day that I met at T-Mobile. And she said, I don't know what I'm going to do. She said, I'm waiting on my income tax check. And I said, oh, man, what's going on? You okay? I said, well, try Instacart. She said, I got these kids, and it's just rough. And I just looked at her, and from one sister to another sister, she was shopping. She was able to feed herself, and that was a good thing. She said, they cut my hours. She said, they tell me I can't work these amount of hours because I don't speak Spanish. But and she's just looking at me and she's like in a daze, like, how is this happening to me when I get up every day and I go to work? I don't bother nobody. I just go to work to feed my family, and they're taking it away from me. It's a domino effect. That's what it is. It's a domino effect. Because of the COVID. Because people don't have the money. So when, the government, y'all see that this is going on. I'm even going into the markets, and I'm going to tell you, this is real life stuff, y'all. I go into the markets, certain foods, okay? And I'm saying to myself now, are we on a drought of certain foods? I'm starting to get worried. Like, oh gosh, should I start stacking up again? Oh Lord, as I look at everything, y'all, I pay attention. The stores might not even have the money, or the companies may not have the money to even produce the product or to even get it to us. So do you see these domino effects that's going on? And the government is falling back, taking their time, wanting to sign these papers. But see, Trump knew. That's why he said, give these people some money, because they're going to need it. They're going to need it. He knew, because he's a businessman. You wouldn't understand the way domino effects happen and things happen unless you are a business person. He knew. Just like, I'm going to use Jeff Bezos, for instance. This man put out so much money towards this COVID. It's unreal. Even though he's a billionaire. But he still put out a lot of money. I watched it. I watched every time I went to work. Something changed. He bought all of these things, and I know he didn't just do it in my place. He did it in all his facilities. Put us in boxes to have lunch. Hired extra people to monitor us staying 6 feet apart. Getting us tested in the facilities. Because they had to come and do, you know what I'm saying? Because he was one of the ones that was able to stay open and push out product to help the people while they was at home every day, all day, because we was in quarantine. So do y'all see the domino effect? It not only put on some big rich companies, and the domino effect it put on the smaller companies as well. This COVID has really put a dampering on people's soul. Okay? Not only just the virus, just the domino effect of what we have to go through. People using excessive drugs, people doing excessive drinking. Shoot, I was even thinking about it. Shoot, I need to take me a drink. This is crazy. I go outside, you don't see too many people. You go in the market. I'm doing the shopping for the people. The people so bored. Let me tell you what the people used to do. I walk up to the door, and they snatch the door open. Hey, how you doing? And I'm like, okay, they're lonely, and then they want to stop and talk. And I'm like, I got to get to my next batch because I need money for my family. This is what I'm saying to myself, but I talk with them for a few seconds, like, yeah, this stuff is crazy what we're going through. And, we 6 feet apart, but we still chatting, with a mask on, and, but they're lonely. We supposed to sit the stuff at the door. They're snatching the door, hey, because they want to see people. People were literally losing it. I've had people say, come in. No, I don't want to go in your house. The COVID, they didn't care. They had to try to find a way to make themselves happy before they go crazy and bug out. So this thing is getting real rough, even though now things are getting better for the people being able to go out and about. People still have bills. And this is why they at the point that they don't care no more. It's like, okay, what am I to do? I may be homeless tomorrow, so I'm going out to party anyway. I'm going to get a drink. I don't have enough to pay my bills, so I do got enough to go get me a drink or My friend over here is working, and they offered me a drink, so I'm going. Because I got to do something for my mental. And these are things that the government needs to think about. What the effect that they're putting on us. Y'all sitting up in the offices in these, big buildings, and y'all sitting there safe, in y'all own zone, y'all own world, your political world, And y'all got stuff going on too, and we get it. Grass ain't green on the other side. No matter where you go, there's always, some drama going on. But it's just on how you deal with the drama, And that's just the reality of it. It's your world, your choice. But I do say again, people, be safe. Continue to wear your mask. Because we don't know if this vaccine is going to hold up for a surge in time. We don't know. And there's still people out here that's not vaccinated. There's people that's not getting vaccinated for several reasons. There's people that's not getting vaccinated because they don't trust it. There's some people not getting vaccinated because it was made too fast. Some people not getting vaccinated because they're allergic. Like myself, I'm allergic to a lot of things. And I am afraid to get that stuff stuck in my arm. And only God knows what's going to happen. I'm one of the ones that's allergic to penicillin and some other medications, So what about us? So I continue to wear my mask. I continue to try to eat healthy. I try, and continue to do the things that I've done throughout this process. But the process is not over. Until they say that they have 0 deaths in a day from COVID, then it's over. We still have hundreds and hundreds of people still dying every day. I looked at I don't know what day it was. It said 872 people died today from COVID. 872 people. That's still a lot of people. Whether y'all know it or not, that's still a lot of people. Just imagine 800 bodies in a day from the same disease. So this is the point of, what Biden is saying. Keep your mask on. And Dr. Fauci, he's saying keep your mask on. Because we're not sure yet, because the numbers are still up. We waiting to get down to 0 numbers, Even 50. If they can get down to 50 people deaths a day with COVID, that would be great. But the government, y'all do need to move faster. Y'all have to move faster. We all are a product of being disobedient. Okay? I even like with me, the kids, they was struggling. But luckily the parents was getting them tested, I let the kids come around and have a kids weekend. Because they need it mentally. They need socialization mentally. They need to be able to see each other's faces. This is what we would train. We would train all our lives. We see people gathering. So to strip that from us and to strip that from, especially the kids, it can hurt the mental. So we've all been disciplined. Not disciplined, disobedient, some way or another. Because people just can't take it no more. So government, y'all need to move a little faster. Y'all really do. because people are suffering. And I'm not only talking about with the COVID stimulus checks. I need to move faster with a lot of stuff. And this is just the reality of it, because people suffer. And if people can't meet their quotas and do what they need to do, you need to get them up out that seat and hire other people that can. And that's just the bottom line. Because there's people out here that wish that they had a job to meet a quota. Other than those that do sit at those desks and they're doing nothing. And I don't care if you're a college grad or not. If you can't get the job done, you shouldn't be in a seat. And that's just the bottom line. Alrighty, y'all. I gotta go. Enough talk for today. I love you guys, and this is why I constantly bring this stuff to play, because they need to hear it. They need to know what's going on. Because, see, you get on Facebook, if the president and the rest of the political parties get on Facebook and Twitter and read everything that people saying, it'll drive them crazy. But they need to hear the reality, and quiet is kept. The new generation coming up, a lot of them not even on Facebook because they can't handle it mentally. They can't deal with it mentally. When I was in school with some young girls that was still in, getting out of high school. And I said, do y'all got Facebook? Y'all want to connect with me on Facebook? They was like, oh, we don't have Facebook. I'll give you my number though. Yeah, we don't do Facebook. And they're old enough to get on Facebook, but it messes with their mental, because you're dealing with all these other people that's going through whatever they're going through and expressing their thoughts, and everybody else has different thoughts. So they don't know what to believe. There's too many voices. It's just too many voices. And then they're not at the point of life where they know to block them. They don't understand. Oh, I might block them, then they get mad with me. Oh, wow. You saving your mental. So they just choose not to even get on there. So do y'all see? They're turning the whole country of America crazy. Anyway, once again, I love you guys. I thank y'all for listening. I thank y'all for tuning in. I thank y'all for supporting my music podcast on the other side with all our music that we haven't published. And actually, some of those songs I am going to publish so that the rest of the world can hear it as well. For those that can't hear it from here, I thank y'all, for the listens, the downloads. Y'all repeatedly listening to our music, Miss JJ Entertainment's music. And I can appreciate that. Without you guys, I can't do it. I need y'all to listen, and y'all do it without me even asking. So I love y'all for that, And that's what keeps me getting on here every day. I left this podcast alone a long time ago. I would get on here only when I had some beef. I needed to talk about something wasn't right. And I still get on here and talk about things that ain't right. But I find more stuff to talk about now. Not stuff that's just affecting me. Stuff that's affecting everybody. See, before I would just get on there and talk about what affects me. But it's not always only about me. It's about the people that's around me as well. So y'all be safe. Continue to wear those masks. Y'all continue to hand sanitize. Wash your hands. And y'all know I have the honey peppermint soap. Y'all know peppermint kills germs. I created that for you guys so y'all can have y'all soap to wash them germs off. Okay, because even when you wash your hands with certain soaps, if it's not an antibacterial soap, it's going to clean to a certain extent. And then with this COVID thing, we don't even know if hot water or cold grows it. We don't know because of what it does in our body. It creates pneumonia, and pneumonia consists of water. So that's another thing we don't know about, okay? That's why I'm telling y'all, continue to be safe because we don't know. We don't know. You have to think about things like that. How is it if we wash our hands with just regular soap and water, okay, that this virus will die completely? How? When it loves to create inflammation. And inflammation creates phlegm and water in the body. So you got to look at the whole science of it, people. You know, we know that some of y'all didn't take up science. Some of y'all didn't, you know, y'all wouldn't think that far. But a person like myself thinks that far. And that's why I created the soap. Because we know that oil in plant kills germs. And it's natural. No lies, no fake, anything. It's natural. I love y'all. Y'all can check out that soap on Miss JJ Diamond website, www.msjjdiamond.com. You hit the Diamond Way tab, Diamond Way shop, and you can purchase that. Or you can also get that soap on Etsy. So y'all check it out on there. Are we going with Amazon? I don't know because they can't get their website right. Jeff, you need to contact that department. Shout out to you. You know, you've done wonderful things. But I'm sorry that you had to sacrifice your family, you know, and give them over to another man. And my hat goes off to you for being that understanding man and realizing what you've done to your family and giving them a regular life, you know, a secured regular life, you know. So my hat goes off to you on that. Yeah, but I'm out. Love y'all.